that it's going to work on early detection, then their chemotherapy and the stuff that we already have is going to, there's a pretty good chance it's going to help them out. So you wouldn't want to do that, would you?
With early detection, you need a patient. You can't use your rat for early detection.
No, but well, what she means is that probably if they use the rat to experiment on early detection.
Wait a second. So how do you detect cancer?
How do you detect it?
Yeah.
Well, how do you detect it? Well, it depends on how scientists test the blood test and
when there is like any kind of suspicion that there might be cancer, right, in this body, they send you to do CT scan.
Yeah.
Sometimes
CT scan doesn't even detect it.
Exactly, okay. But that machine is made for humans and that's not made for rats. I
Yeah.
believe that there is no CT scan enough sensitive machine that would detect this. So
the animals are given cancer.
And sometimes they're even dogs. Now these days they're using even dogs to smell them out. And there's been some research recently when they start using dogs to smell cancer, which part of the body. But it's still in the process. They're still on trial basis. And these dogs actually came out with flying colors. They were able to detect. But then not well done. But they're still working on it. The dogs are here. They're still working on that.
Alex wanted to bring up another thought experiment.
But it's also related to pets. That's okay.
Yeah, you see, pets is always the sensitive area of animals. Because
okay, so maybe
it's really sensitive area to discuss because some people are, and a lot of people, not even some people, a large percentage of people are so attached.
Okay, this is not must be attached to a pet because otherwise if it's with a pig you don't know doesn't have a point. So let's say like you're in the Second World War occupied France and you're a farmer, French farmer, and your neighbors are Jews. You hid them in your basement. The German soldiers come and say, "Where are your neighbors?" You say, "I don't know." They say, "Tell us or we are going to kill your dog."
Yeah.
Kill your dog.
Well,
We'll kill your dog. If you tell us where they are.
And then you have large proportion, and then there's a large number of people in your basement, and there's one dog that you have.
Your neighbors, one family, 5 or 6 people, and they say, if you tell us where they are, we'll let you go and your dog. If not, we'll kill your dog.
Am I
let you go.
Well,
are you racist against dogs?
I believe that a lot of people would actually put their dogs on the line to save those lives.
Okay, so that's everybody can say what they think.
Because even if you put that dog on the line, you didn't put it on the line for nothing. For nothing. You put it on the line to save lives.
And you also know that for sure they're going to kill the dog anyway. First of all, they're threatening you. They find out you've been hiding Jews. They'll probably kill you and the dog. Anyway.
There is another risk. They might kill you as
They might kill you as well. Okay,
Okay, let's say we believe that they are honest. Let's say we believe they are honest. That's it. So now that's the whole point. What will you choose to save the Jews or the dog?
I forgot that the German.
Okay, we should vote on that.
Wait. I'm confused. So if you save the Jews, they kill the dog?
If you don't kill
save
them,
the Jews and kill the
You
dog.
don't tell them anything, they just shoot your dog?
Yeah.
We're going to shoot your dog unless you tell us something. So if you tell them, I don't have any Jews in my basement, they still shoot the dog? The only way they don't shoot the dog is if he's bad. It doesn't make any sense.
You choose one. Because if you don't show us where the Jews are, we're going to kill your dog.
Okay, we're sure that you have
attached
Jews.
to that dog. I mean, it's very important.
We know you have the Jews, you just have to save us time to tell us the Jews.
And that if you don't show us where the Jews are, your dog that you love so much is going to go. And in this case, it could be even your son or your daughter or something. And so, it happens that this is a dog. And believe me, and after that has happened, the dog is going to be a hero anyway. And wouldn't you like it for your dog to be a a hero who saved the day or who saved the human lives in that basement. So it's really, I mean, the dog going to be a huge, I mean, and a lot of dogs actually went to war, and they did a lot of good. They saved the soldiers. You see a wounded soldier who was bleeding, is almost going to die, but dogs would run around and look for help and save them out. Like a couple of days ago, I saw on the news, there was a bad guy who did something bad, and the police were after him. I don't know if any of you have seen the news. And then the police were after him, and this guy had to run, scale the wall, and jump, and he was running. His dog that he trained actually pursued his ass, and then the police were running after the dog, but the dog runner went and showed where his master was. And the dog knew that his master was the criminal.
Or maybe the dog was just following his master.
Well, yeah, so the police, this fucking dog left the police to where his master was, and then they get his ass. So, well, animals are useful. I mean, we all agree with that. But then it comes to a certain point where humans are really, how do I put it? Really, you can do away with. You really need them in that regard.
Okay, well, let's get back to the very beginning, because I think we have like 20 minutes left or 15 minutes left. And I think that what the most important thing is here, because I wanted to talk about, and I think we've done that, we went from what are some easy supports for animal rights, what are some easy anti-animal rights positions, and then we did talk about pretty much every, well, not every single one, but a lot of different places where we come in contact with animals. But let's get back to the very beginning thing, which was Stinger's idea that for you to have this ethical decision or ethical idea is, are the animals suffering? So let's go back through, let's start with food. Let's start with food, because this is the big one, and that's why I wanted to get rid of food, was because I thought we could probably spend the whole we could probably spend the whole time talking about it. But let's get back to it and talk about if the industry is going to continue, if we are going to continue eating animals, what does that mean for how we treat them ethically, from raising the animal to where they live to how we kill them. So let me give an example. I eat meat, but I would be happier, I guess what my goal would be. I don't actually eat that much meat. I eat less and less meat. But if I have the choice, I will buy something that at least is labeled free range, whether I know it is or not, or organic, or free range, or with some sort of idea that it has more space to run around, it's eating more natural food, and hopefully it's not torn apart before it's dead. So personally, as far as food goes, I think it's very important, whether the average person cares about it or not, I think it's very important to have a better way of raising the animals for food. I'm not sure if there's a better way of killing them. I mean, until they invent like you tell them a funny joke and their heart stops, right? I mean, that's a great way to go. But until they invent that, I've seen them. I've watched documentaries of permaculture things. And it's not like they don't kill animals, they do. They just raise them and then they kill them with their own hands. They hold the goat down and they slit its neck and they press on it until it bleeds out or faints or whatever. It passes out because it's losing blood. Or, actually I watched one cool one, and they had picked up some roadkill. Like a guy had driven into town to pick up some supplies, and when he was coming back to the permaculture area, he noticed, oh, well, there's an animal dead on the side of the road. It must have been hit between that time because I didn't see it before. So they took it back, cut it, drained it, skinned it, chopped it up, and put it in the freezer, So what's my point? I think that at least as far as we can, we should be raising animals to reduce their suffering as much as possible, kill them to reduce their suffering as much as possible, etc.
Right. Okay. So here.
So the point here is that kill them and don't make them go through that cruel situation where they have to go to
cages and
Yeah.
stuffing them full of amphetamine or
The
sorry,
animal rights
amphetamine.
activists are also against the killing itself. Now we have a problem.
Yeah, it's not.
Well, that's just eat
I
them
mean,
alive.
even
Eat them while they're
for
alive.
animal activists, actually, even eating meat alone is an issue. For food, it's an issue. And there are a lot of people who actually wouldn't eat anything if it's not for certain animals that they probably might have killed or maybe during hunting. And these people are so attached to hunting that they wouldn't want to eat anything apart from what they've actually went on hunting or on a fishing trip to kill. Because that gives them certain kind of maybe prestige or kind of pride of, yeah, I'm eating this because I went hunting today and I killed it. So it gives me certain.
But let's think about that practically, because for 7 billion people, it's not really practical for 7 billion.
Yeah, mentioning the
people.
hunting, for example. Okay, I eat meat. Okay, I eat. I also am against suffering of animals, and I'm also against the unnecessary killing. So, okay, maybe I'm contradictory because I eat meat, right?
Yeah.
But hunting is kind of like you kill animals for fun. That's kind of even, because we don't need to hunt
Yeah.
to be fed. We can buy our food. We can still go on with the beef and the pork,
Yeah.
But then, no, hunting is fun. You
Okay,
go
I
hunting
think that's
and
wrong.
kill the
It's just like fishing. Because it's also it's a hobby that humans even
It's the fish.
we
Sometimes
eat as they eat
the
it too.
prey you get from hunting, you don't even eat it.
Even the fish, you don't want to go fishing.
Hold on, let's not. Hold on. Yes, that's okay. You don't have to yell.
Yeah.
I'm getting to you.
Yeah.
Okay, I was raised hunting with my dad, and he's a biologist, and as long as you follow the rules, okay, you have several things that happen with encroaching populations of cities and a reduction of natural habitat for animals. And one of the things you have with overpopulation is starvation. And in the wintertime, a good percentage of the deer will die unless they're culled. So you have to cut them down, and you cut their numbers down by hunting only during hunting season, which is when all the young have grown up, and you're hunting them for meat. You don't have to eat the animals that are, in small crammed factories.
But is it?
And it's actually, if you are a quick shot and you know how to make a head shot, you get leaner meat, and you're killing it quickly, and you're reducing the
But
population.
isn't that because of the deers?
Less deer starve.
Isn't that because the deer's predators have been all killed? Like the
No.
wolves?
No, there's something that happens with overpopulation. One is an increase of predation. So you have an increase of predators. One is starvation. One is mutation. Mutated babies, like stillborn babies, no viable offspring.
No.
One is disease.
Okay. Well, let me. Okay. Was there a time 500 years ago when there wasn't overpopulation? Was there more of a balance between predators
Yeah,
and
there was
prey?
the Indians living up north in Canada and a bunch of animals. And the Indians were actually really good at balancing nature and killing the animals, and they'd always make a prayer, "Thank you for giving us your meat."
So
And they eat
is the reduction of the wolf population in the United States and Canada down to nearly
I cannot
zero have
comment
nothing to
about
do with
United-
that?
I cannot
Okay,
comment
Canada.
anything about the United States. I have
Hasn't
no
the
idea.
population of wolves been reduced in Canada from what it was down to just 5% of that?
I don't know about the wolf population, but I know about the
Well, if it's anything like it is,
huntable creatures.
if it's anything like it is in the United States,
Deer
that
and
wolves are hunted from helicopter every year.
No, that wouldn't be legal in Canada. there's
Okay,
no way.
well, it's legal in the United States.
Yeah.
I mean, I totally get. I totally.
Isn't that if the overpopulated is a threat to humans? Like wolves, for example,
No.
they are good in eating babies.
No, it's a threat to livestock. It's a threat to livestock. So let me
Yeah.
finish.
Oh, livestock.
Right.
Okay.
So the farmers, it's not at least hunting by helicopter is not legal in every state. But generally in almost every state where you do find wolves, it is legal at one time of the year to get a license to hunt as many wolves as you want, whether they're boys or girls. I think you don't have to go up and ask if the wolf is what sex. Hold on, let me finish.
Yeah, well,
Okay, hold on.
I'm talking about the overpopulation of the wolves. I mean, isn't it the overpopulation is a threat to human habitats? That is why they're trying to reduce. They're dangerous to human population. If a wolf is hungry, they will do anything to get food, especially little kids. And I believe that they control the population because they are a threat to humans. And that if like in Africa, for example, sometimes you see the population of elephants, for example, and if elephants grow overpopulated, they invade farms, they eat spawns, they destroy, and that the government sometimes orders
My father was
the
sent to
population
Africa to
to
stop
control.
poaching.
So in
So
that,
I
in
know
that
that
sense, yeah.
situation there too. It actually isn't cool to shoot animals randomly. We see a dead elephant and all that was missing
Yeah,
was
over the
tusks.
years, there have been the formation of national parks which actually protects them. Like in,
Yeah, that's the national parks, right?
there's
There's a
certain
lot of
countries
protection.
actually. It's okay to go hunting, but there are certain demarcated areas where there are boundaries. If the animal, if you chased it and is demanding to get into that territory, then there's nothing you can do.
There's a huge
to
difference
grasp it,
between
or
regulated
it's
hunting
a
and
violation.
poaching.
Yeah.
Poaching
Poaching
is
is different, yeah.
not following the regulated hunting laws, which
Yeah.
means you're not only going to kill one animal, but you might shoot it as a mother and several babies.
Yeah, and take
Way back at the nest or
certain
whatever.
part of it. Yeah, and it takes
Killing
certain
about
part
five.
of that for certain reasons.
It's uneducated,
Yeah.
ignorant.
It's ignorant, yeah. Mostly humans, we do a lot of things out of ignorance. And it's ignorance that creates evil and chaos. And ignorance creates, even racism is ignorant. And even killing. We do a lot of things as humans out of ignorance and sheer lack of knowing certain things. So that is our nature as humans. And due to ignorance again, we do certain things just to satisfy certain ego. Out of still the same ignorance. So out of ignorance, we do a lot of stupid stuff.
I think it's completely natural to eat meat and be on the top of the food chain. And I mean, way back, Indians killed or I should say First Nations people, but they killed the deer with a bow and arrow, and then they'd pray for thank you for the meat. And it tastes good for a reason. It tastes good because.
But that's not the point. The point is suffering.
Yeah, you shouldn't let an animal suffer, and they suffer worse in factories.
Yeah, that's the thing is, as you were saying, that that is like the ultimate in free range meat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To go out and hunt it.
And free range meats are awesome. I mean, because it grew up in a natural environment, and it had the chance to run around, and the meat is really juicy.
And it's eventually going to get killed by
it's
something.
really,
It's
really
a
awesome.
prey.
Yeah.
It's a gazelle or a deer, there's lions.
Because where I grew up, we have a lot of animals around, and these animals have free range. Goats, sheep, cows, and chickens. So they run around and in the compound, and they go wherever they go, but then at the end of the day they come back and assemble, and then they go back into their pens and cages. And and then the next day again, they open these pens and cages, they go out again, run around, and so sometimes when you feel like, or maybe there's an occasion where you need meat, you just go around and see which one needs to go. And then you just get it and sell it and
Yeah, we had
put it on the
chickens
grill.
in a
And it's
shed.
Yeah, but you also
Awesome.
make sure that you store the meat and you eat it all, right? You don't waste it.
oh, no, of course not.
Yeah,
And
you
especially
know,
like back home.
What is with the factory,
Yeah,
farm
it's-
production,
yeah.
actually
It's
overproduction of
yeah,
meat.
it's totally a
So
different story.
basically
Yeah.
their own pigs and cows raised and there is need for food.
Yeah, and then mostly it's on commercial purposes.
Yes.
Capitalism, that is where it comes in and destroys everything. Because when capitalism brings a whole lot of things, and out of that,
obesity problem
yeah, they need to
exactly in the
mass
developed
produce it.
countries, where
Yeah.
actually people should be well nutrition nutrition and should be healthier.
Mm.
Theoretically
Well,
they
yeah.
are because
And
they
then,
have
well,
better
without that,
medicine and
even,
stuff, but
so
yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah.
not necessarily to do with, eating healthy.
It is, yeah, and for example, bacons, for example, pigs, and most of the times you see all these chemicals that have been pumped into them to make them look fat and more food, and so that it will create more profit for the commercial purposes. Yeah, so animals actually, yeah, it depends, and it's out of ignorance that you create that suffering that they go through. And when the circus comes to town, I remember some time ago when there was a circus coming to Taipei, and animal rights activists were against it because all these tigers and stuff were kept in certain cages, and you see them all bruises all over and stuff on top of it, and animal rights are not really happy about it, and yeah, so they go against it. And even if you don't have to be an animal rights activist to actually see that as evil to animals, it is just not right to see animals being treated that way. And it doesn't have to take an animal rights activist to understand that.
We don't have enough strong enough laws. One of the worst things I heard from one of my roommates who comes from Canada, he said that, I think it was Alberta, they had one guy, or maybe it was in Calgary, I'm not sure, can't remember the place, but he kept a kangaroo in a closet and he kept feeding it Snickers bars for 3 years. That's all he said. They found,
Snickers bars?
yeah, that's all he gave it to eat.
Wow.
And it was just it was sickly and isn't that horrific? And finally the animal rights people had to raise enough money to buy it off him.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't find a law to shut that guy down.
Yeah.
To take this kangaroo, and we don't even know where he got the kangaroo. They couldn't find anything. And he just kept it in a small closet. They couldn't even haul around.
This kangaroo must be
And they
really
finally
fat.
rescued it and put it into a better, like a bigger, they took it to the zoo, but the zoo had, I don't like zoos, but this one has bigger space than the closet. It's just horrific.
Alright, we are out of time.
Can you imagine? I mean, I told him not to ever tell me a story like that again, so I think about it for months.